Hi parents and kids, and welcome to a special edition of Wiggly Wednesday. My name is Ranger Leah, and we are coming to you live straight from my backyard. I am so excited to have all of y'all with us today. We've got a great program today. I have a question for you at home though. What time of year is it? Well, by looking around, it must be springtime. How do we know it's springtime? Well, there are new leaves on the trees, the flowers are blooming, it's getting warmer, we've got pollen in the air, there are new animal babies being born, like our rabbit friend here, and animals are migrating. Now, what is migrating? That's a pretty big word. Migration is an even bigger word. It's a big fancy word. What does it mean? It means when animals move from place to place at certain times of the year. So in the springtime we have animals that move, in the winter, in the summer, but especially here in the springtime we get to see a lot of animals migrating. Now, why would animals want to migrate? Well, they might migrate, like our bear friend here, to find food, stripping berries off those plants there. Or they might be migrating to be able to have babies in a safer place, like these baby birds here. They might be migrating because they need a place to go for the winter. Or they might be migrating because they need a place that's not too hot. There's a fire there. Or too cold. Or too wet. Or too dry. They need a place where they can be just right. Now, what kind of animals migrate? Well, we're going to play a little game. We're going to play a game called Does It Migrate? And you answer yes or no to each animal, and we'll see if you guys pick the right answer. All right, so our first animal are bats, or our first animals are bats. Do bats migrate? Do they move to a different place at certain times of the year? Yes, they do. Bats, some bats, like these bats in particular from Carlsbad Caverns, they migrate to move to a warmer place in the winter. And then when it warms up again in the spring, they move back to a place that's cooler. So yes, bats do migrate. All right, here's our next animal. Whales. You see the whales there? There are 3 whales there. One's showing us his tail. Do whales migrate? Yes, they do. They migrate from colder water to warmer water, depending on what time of year it is, and back again. So yes, whales do migrate. Okay. Do mule deer migrate? Yes, they do. Mule deer will move from higher up in the mountains to lower in the mountains. When it gets cold, they come down from up on the mountains to get to lower places where it's warmer. Let's see. These fish are called salmon. Do salmon migrate? Yes, they do. Salmon will actually return from the ocean back to the rivers and streams where they were born to lay eggs so that they can have babies. So yes, salmon do migrate. Do bison migrate? Yes, they do migrate. They migrate to be able to find more grass to eat. See, it doesn't have to be a long way. It can be a short distance. Some animals do go a really, really long way, But sometimes, like the bison, they're just moving from one part of the valley to another part of the valley to get some more grass. Do monarch butterflies migrate? Yes, they do. They're the only butterfly species that migrates. They actually fly from Mexico, way down south, up into North America, that's the United States and Canada, to places like North and South Carolina where we live. So they travel thousands of miles to migrate so that they can get to warmer places in the winter, and then when they move back in the summer, they have babies. So they go a really long way. Okay. Do birds migrate? Yes, they do. Birds do migrate. They migrate to warmer places in the winter and cooler places in the summer. And birds are who we are going to be focusing on specifically as the animals that we want to watch migrate. So we're going to take a closer look at some of our bird friends who migrate so that in your backyard you can look for them and listen for them. We can use our senses and find our bird friends. The first migrating bird we can look for is called a rose-breasted grosbeak. So he's black and white and has a little bit of red right on his chest there. That's what he looks like. Now, to get to what he sounds like, parents, I would highly recommend the Audubon app. That's something you can download on either Android or iPhone, and you can bring up bird songs to share with your kids, so you can go look in the backyard. So, here is what it sounds like. Alright, our next bird friend is called a red-eyed vireo. So he's another common one that migrates. And here is what he sounds like. Pull it up there. Here's another of our migrating bird friends. He is called a scarlet tanager. So here's what he looks like, that nice brilliant red. And here is what he sounds like. Here's a bird friend who migrates who might be a little bit harder to spot. He is called a common nighthawk. And you can see with his colors, those browns and tans, he would be hard to spot in the leaves and out in the woods. This one you're probably going to see more in areas out in the country. But if you see him, you might also hear him. Now our last bird friend who migrates is called a ruby-throated hummingbird. Now this bird migrates a long, long way. He goes all the way from Mexico and Central America, South America, all the way up here to South Carolina and North Carolina. This little bird flies all that way, hundreds and thousands of miles. They like to have their babies here in this part of the country, but they like to spend the winter in Mexico or South America, where it's a little bit warmer. Boys and girls, what can we do to help these birds as they migrate? Some of them are traveling a really, really long way. They need food. They need a place to rest. They need water. What do you think we can do to help them? help our migrating bird friends, I've got a few crafts that you can put together with your mom or your dad. The first one we're going to make is a bird feeder that you can hang in a tree or in a branch. You can put in your backyard. And all you need is a toilet paper roll, which should be able to get those. You'll also need some bird seed, which I've got in my paper plate here. Some bird seed you can spread around in a paper plate. You'll need some peanut butter to be able to coat that toilet paper roll. And then you'll just need some string to be able to tie the loop and a pair of scissors. So to start out, you're going to take your toilet paper roll. You're going to get and smear peanut butter all over it here. Coat it nice and thick so that that seed can grab. So I'm going to get some more creamy peanut butter on there. And parents, if you have a child who is allergic to peanuts, sunflower butter, or other kinds of non-peanut butter will work just as well. Okay, so you don't have to worry about it being peanut butter if your child is allergic to nuts. So once you've got it coated, you can see I've already kind of got it started here, but you're going to roll that toilet paper roll in the bird seed and get it nice and coated with bird seed so that it gets covered all over like this. Got it covered. Now, I'm going to be taking a piece of string like I've got here and cut that piece of string. You're going to take the string and loop it through the toilet paper roll. You can have mom or dad help you with this, kids. You're going to take and tie a knot at the top so that you have a nice big circle that you can take and tie around a branch out in your yard. So there we go. Voila! You have your bird feeder. Now another thing you can make for our bird friends that migrate is a waterer, because they need water too. And they can use it to drink. They can also use it to take a bath and rest. So the only things you'll need to make your own waterer is a plastic cup. It doesn't have to be red, it can be clear. And then some kind of saucer. And it can be like this, where I've reused an old camp plate that we just had laying around, or if you wanted to use the bottom of a planter, that would work as well. And then you just need a pair of scissors and some water. So what you're going to do is have your mama or dad help you to poke a hole in your cup. And it doesn't have to be very big. I'll show you here how big we're talking. Just about that big. And then you're going to take and fill your cup with water up to below the hole. Once you've filled it up there, you're going to take your platter or your saucer, place it on top, and you're going to quickly turn over, and the water is going to come out of that hole and fill your dish so that you have a self-filling waterer that you can sit out for your bird friends. Thank you for joining us today for a special online version of Wiggly Wednesday. I hope you're having fun with mom and dad at home. I gotta get back to these goofballs, so I'll see you later.